So right now we're in the AI arms race. Everyone's rushing to integrate the technology into your browser, into image generation, video. I'm here today with Michael Foucher from Shift, who has had an interesting AI journey that's now culminating in an upcoming product launch for the customizable web browser. Michael, why don't you just tell us about your journey with AI?
My first encounter with AI was through OpenAI and ChatGPT and typing in queries and, helping you get answers and customize text and summarize text and all those features. And, the last 3 years, as we've been watching this revolution take place, I've seen a lot of spaghetti being thrown on the wall with these tools to see what actually sticks. For a long time, what was sticking and what it was really good at was summarizing long documents, finding pieces of information, helping with tone in your conversations and document writing. And over time, and certainly in the last year and a half, we've seen AI where it's really shining is in code writing. As we started seeing how we might use this internally for our own developers and for ourselves, I thought I better jump in. So I had a bit of an itch to scratch with some challenges I had in my workflow where I was having all these tasks coming in from all the various apps, which I have in Shift, my Jira, my Asana, my Gmail, Slack. I get so many requests for things. And when you're a busy person, some things fall through the cracks. And that was my challenge. One thing I wanted to do was consolidate into one piece of software, all my tasks had to do. So an idea I had was, well, why don't I write or try to write a Chrome extension, which will work in Shift. And, when I have a Slack message, embed a button to sort of pass that, item, and then maybe write one for Gmail and maybe one for Asana and so on and so forth. So I just started down that path last fall and it worked. And I've been using it ever since. So it's really great for me. And that was sort of, kind of the moment when it sort of really opened my mind to the possibilities. And that's helped me sort of think, get a, sort of a grounded sense of what is actually possible.
Well, it's certainly, to your point, lowering the barrier entry to those who seek and desire to learn new tasks and skills, right? Like the ability, like I was just telling someone I was writing HTML code the other day and I've never coded before. And, I described it to ChatGPT and it spit out an email that looks quite beautiful, at the end of the day. Same with image generation or video, it's really amazing. And then whenever you check back on the technology, it just seems to have progressed so far.
Yeah. I mean, the thing we always have to tell ourselves is right now, this is the worst it will ever be. We're always used to with things like a couple steps forward, couple steps back. But with technology, and particularly this type of technology, it's always moving forward. When Claude released Opus 4.5 last November, it was a big step in its programming capabilities. And that really sort of opened up the marketplace in a big way and opened a lot of people's eyes to what's possible. When thinking about Shift and sort of our path and how we're going to add AI into Shift, what we're thinking about is well thought out integrations that make sense for our users.
Well, totally, especially with an established product like Shift, right? Sometimes really taking a moment to survey the landscape while everyone's run is actually the best approach to meaningfully launching something like this, right? So take me through that, the next steps of, your AI journey. You went from all of a sudden understanding that with the launch of Claude that you could code and build apps to make your life more efficient. How does that then pave the way for the AI work that you're doing at Shift? So then now you're building your AI product functionality. How are you approaching this from a user standpoint? Like, what did that look like as you're surveying the landscape? What did you notice? How did that help inform, your
Sure.
approach?
I mean, last year was sort of, mid last year, Perplexity launched its Comet
Yeah.
product. And it really was the first sort of AI first browser. And I'll give Perplexity lots of kudos because they really threw a lot of stuff in there. Everyone hears this term agentic, agentic browsing. So it had this capability where it could sort of drive a web page and do some smart activities on web pages for you, which was interesting. And those are still very interesting. And then shortly, not too far after, a few months, OpenAI launched Atlas, which is also a fully AI first browser, and it does similar things too. Another company that we watch closely is the browser company's Dia product. They were the makers of Arc, and then they kind of put that on ice and started with Dia, also sort of AI first browser concept. And
Mhm.
all of them have some really great ideas. And, we've been fortunate enough to be able to watch and again see lots of different types of pasta being thrown at the wall and see what is really sort of sticking. And our whole approach is not, we look at things, but Shift's unique offering for users, obviously being the first, the world's first 100% customizable browser is one thing. And we have our spaces and apps where people can really manage all of their lives in this tool and help make their digital life more calm and directed. And we've thought long and hard about how do we incorporate AI that leverages the things that are um, important to our users. So, what can we make it different? We are going to include what we're calling Shift AI chat interface where you can expose it and it'll come out. So, if you're looking at a page or an app, it will grab that and bring that into the conversation so that immediately gives some context to where you are. We know some people initiate just they don't want to talk about a page, they just have a general idea or concept, and we have introduced an intelligent omnibox where as you start typing into the omnibox, we have an embedded model that within 90% accuracy knows whether it's going to be like a normal search query or it might be better answered by AI. So as you're typing in your Omnibox and asking your question, if we think it would be better answered by AI, we have this little animation that shows up in the Omnibox. It's our Shift AI. And if you just hit the tab button rather than return, it'll open up our chat and take that query and give you the answer there. Or if it's not, you just hit the return button, it'll just do a standard search query and give you that. And so that's another incorporation of AI into our product with this embedded model. Everything happens local in the product to give you that decision matrix. So which we think is really cool.
That is pretty cool because with the heavy adoption of the technology, there's all these emerging conversations about the impact, right? Or how to create the best future possible and like, do you really need AI for every search? No, probably a traditional search query is best suited to like tell me the weather
Yep.
today or something, you know? So that smart and trained model with the ability to do that is probably when you really think about AI's impact on the environment and energy, you're going to save. I mean, I don't even know how to begin to quantify it, but that you understand where I'm going.
Yeah. And the way we don't automatically shunt you into an AI, you have to change a little bit. Like if we're suggesting it's AI, you hit tab and it'll go to AI. If it suggests a search query, you can still hit tab and go AI if you want, because we
Yeah.
leave it up to the user. We're not making that decision. We're not trying to change the process. We're just trying to suggest to you that you might be better served by an AI or a search query.
It seems like you're kind of staying true to the real mission and goal and founding principles of Shift with it, right? Is like this ability to customize and personalize the entire browser experience, which that idea of the browser being the gateway to the experience of digital and how much lot of our lives we spend on the internet, it's like, it's no wonder if browsers are having a moment right now.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do and trying to make it seamless. And the other thing too, I was mentioning how when we have our apps that you install in Shift and you may have a bunch of tabs open in that app. When I open up AI chat in that app, it that AI chat window is automatically aware of all the open tabs in the app. It has that context. You don't have to add it. It knows about it. And you can start asking questions right away without having to do anything because you opened up that AI chat when you were in Jira and you have 4 stories open and you want to ask, I want a summary of the 4 stories I have open. Tell me their latest status and what do I need to do? And it will just know to do that without you having to add those pages individually into the chat because you initiated it. It has that context. So we're really trying to be a step ahead of, what the user wants. You can remove that context if you want. Like we'll always make it easy. It's not like you're stuck there. You can always create a new chat and it kind of clears it but we want to sort of be a little step ahead and provide what we think people want in those different contexts.
When you were developing these products or your direction to go in for Shift AI, did you talk to existing users or anything to like understand what they wanted from this rollout eventually? Or is this based off of your internal Shift users or both, really?
It's a combination of everything.
Yeah.
We are really lucky here at Shift. We About 2.5 years ago, we started this concept of, we call it the customer advisory board. So we invite some of our most loyal customers, who are interested, to join our board. And we meet with them at least once a quarter, sometimes twice a quarter. And we use them as a sounding board where we will show them initial prototypes, get their feedback, understand and get their viewpoint on how, if they like the idea, do they think it has legs? Would it be something they would use? And they've been instrumental in many of our new features, and in particular, this AI feature. I've been showing prototypes to them for, well, just under a year. But as we get further and further along, we've been showing them where we're at and getting feedback along the way. Yeah. So
That's really cool, honestly. Like a FUBU of web browsers almost, not to, but like for us, by us, that's a really cool approach.
yeah, I mean, as product people, you have to start somewhere, and we don't expect them to do the research for us, but we come in with our best ideas forward, and we lay them
Yeah.
out, and then maybe they give us a couple of nuggets of information, which allows us to change it a little bit, and we come back. Okay, is this? And it seems to align, and then we'll test. Once we get it out into people's hands, we instrument all our new features so that we can see if people are using it the way we think.
And the through thread throughout that is the mix of AI and human, right? Like taking even the AI products to the humans and having the actual conversations and then marrying it with the data to understand how people are using it. And the
Yeah.
human element is lost like across all of this, especially when it comes to big tech and technology companies.
That really actually is so true. And that's why something that is really important to us when we talk about big tech is security. So we've gone to great lengths to ensure that when you're using AI and Shift, it goes through our proxy. And then we partnered with Cloudflare, and they have a additional security product which allows the data to be proxied through two additional points. And so all of our AI queries are going to go through this process such that all of our clients' information is private. So, yeah, we're trying to make a very privacy first AI product.
It seems like a very strategic approach to rolling out an AI product right now. So, and that maintains again those core values of Shift. It's like a personalization, customization, which I think everyone wants, is finally at a point where they want that from their browser.
Hmm.
They say you can customize a Fortnite character and have them dancing around you
Yeah,
can't.
why can't you change your browser? Why can't you move a bar around? You can't pretend to predict what's going to happen. What I can say from our perspective is that we will continue to really lean into those things about Shift that our users love and rely on, and then use AI to augment those things.
Well, Michael, thank you so much. This has been a great conversation, and I appreciate you taking us behind the scenes of what Shift is building. So I look forward to getting in there in the coming weeks,
Yeah,
months.
well, really excited. And as you know, yeah, looking forward to you trying it. And I think you'll really enjoy it.
I look forward to it. Thanks,
Uh-huh.
man.